Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another walk and talk. Today we are different scenery, but out in the rain. Not by design, but it does appear that the heavens have opened up a little bit. So yeah, I'm taking you out for a walk in the British weather here. We do love the weather because it changes so quickly. But yeah, so we're going to be discussing a little bit around crypto today, and before I kind of get into that, I think I want to kind of talk about, I guess I saw a comment that were tagged in the Discord, and I thought it was quite an interesting question that it kind of raised up, which was, do we ever take any time off, and do we spend any time with the family? This is one of those things where I guess a lot of people don't generally understand. They kind of misunderstand, that's probably a better way of saying it, that being a YouTuber is actually quite an easy thing to do. You know, you just pick up a camera, you go for a walk in the rain, and you know, you just talk to the camera, right? Very easy to kind of do, right? But that's just kind of the perception of it. There's actually a reality to this that's vastly different, which essentially is that no, you don't have time off. It is pretty much constant. And do you spend much time with the family? No, it's God's honest truth. And specifically within the sector that we're in as well, where we talk cryptocurrency, a lot of the stuff is very happening or quick and happening right away. What I mean by this is you don't have the luxury of recording a video 3 days ago and having the ability to just put that on the YouTube channel, you know, a week later. It's more that you have to create content on the day, which means you have to basically be working every single day, specifically if you're creating multiple videos in that day. I mean, you take a look at what we do as our channel specifically, we create, I think it's like 5 to 6 videos a day, every single day, 365 days a year for the last 3 years. So no, we don't have time off. We rarely get to spend time with the family, and that is a part of trying to generate or create generational level wealth. It's not quick, it's not easy, and it's something that takes a fair bit of time. So hopefully that answers the question a little bit, and maybe kind of allows people to kind of see a little bit of a different kind of perspective on, you know, this particular kind of industry and YouTube content creation and all that kind of stuff. Now, onto crypto, we have seen some interesting things with the news, and man, any excuse to be bullish, it would appear, right? And so we can see in the news at the moment for cryptocurrency, there's a lot of people calling a bull run and calling all sorts of different numbers for Bitcoin. And as I've kind of been alluding to for the last few days, I don't think that we are there just yet. I do think it is coming, and I do think that bull run is just around the corner, as in we're only really a few months away from significant growth in the crypto space, in my humble opinion. But to be calling it right now, I think is very irresponsible. And that's because we've pushed up very significantly, right? We've seen Bitcoin push up to the $35,000 level, and I still think we can push a little bit further, I do, but reality is nothing moves in straight lines, and we should be thinking and we should be expecting moves to the downside for Bitcoin and of course the entire crypto space retrospectively. So I think it is quite irresponsible to be having these articles put out there calling for a $70,000 Bitcoin imminently, or a bull run basically just around the corner, and you know, essentially we are on the cusp of imminent parabolic moves when it comes to the space. So I think there's a few things we have to kind of be realistic about, a few things that we have to kind of keep an open mind for, and all that kind of good stuff. But I think it is very irresponsible considering there isn't really a lot of volume behind the most recent price movements to be calling for $70,000 Bitcoin, to be calling for a bullish market in 2023. We'd all love it, of course, and I wouldn't say no to a bullish market here in 2023 and to see those parabolic moves. I wouldn't say no to a $70,000 Bitcoin. But in the reality of the situation, if I can get out of the rain, is that essentially I don't think that is something that we should be expecting. I don't think it's something that we should be kind of pinning our hopes for here in 2023. I would love to be wrong, of course, you know, I would love to see these kind of numbers come to fruition when it comes to Bitcoin. I just cannot see it actually being something that we see right away. So what do I think? And what do I know, right? I'm just a guy on YouTube with a camera walking around in the rain. But I do think that essentially Bitcoin is going to be moving down, not up. And the amount of bullish news that we see is probably an indication of this. Usually, as they say, you buy the fear and you sell the greed, right? And right now, we see a lot of greed in the market. Lots of green, we've seen a bullish month. And, you know, for the most part, the expectation should be profits to be taken and for Bitcoin to move on down. I would say a $20,000 Bitcoin is, you know, a pretty healthy move. It's about a 40% reduction from the current price and something that I wouldn't mind seeing. It basically would allow us to accumulate many altcoins at some pretty decent prices as well. And so why not, right? And down at $20,000 Bitcoin, we have that CME gap as well. So this isn't anything new. If you've been following the content, you know my thoughts and opinions on this. Essentially that we are looking for slightly cheaper in price for Bitcoin and for altcoins alike. And, you know, it just kind of irritates me a little bit because there really isn't a lot of need to kind of be printing these articles where we talk about, you know, $70,000 Bitcoin or how a bull run is, you know, imminent and we're on the cusp of a bull run because of this magical indicator or whatever, right? I think those things are basically just telling us that actually it's time to take profits. Now, when it comes to the whale activity, it's quite interesting. This is something that I've spoken about for quite a sizable amount of time, and you know, although a theory, I think it stands up. Now, what am I talking about here? Well, I'm talking about the flow of Bitcoin. Specifically, that you can't see just Bitcoin buying and buying without someone selling it, right? And so when we've seen the most recent moves for Bitcoin in 2023, we have seen, of course, retail investors buying, which means who was selling? Well, it was the whale investor. And now we are seeing profits getting taken by retail investors, which I applaud, by the way, guys. I think that's a fantastic sign. And we're seeing whales buying at slightly higher prices. So these things, to me, is basically the start of something much bigger. When we do see Bitcoin pulling back towards $20,000, I would expect the whale activity to be soaring at that particular moment in time, and would see probably a 20 to 30% reduction in the amount of retail investors that are holding Bitcoin at that particular time. We can layer in the bigger global economic climate into this as well. We can say, you know, what's going to happen when the Fed pivot and what's potentially around the corner there as well. But for the most part, my expectations are quite simple. I would expect that we are going to see a nice healthy correction in the market, not looking for you know, major kind of pulls to new lower lows or anything like that, but I would expect a decent-ish correction in the market to the downside. Now, in terms of the altcoins and the altcoin market, obviously when Bitcoin pulls back, I would expect altcoins to dramatically pull back as well, and there's huge opportunity in this if you wanted to acknowledge that. But ultimately, these opinions and thoughts of mine haven't changed over the last 3 months, so let me know what yours are in the comments below. But I think I'm going to try to get out of the rain here now and go and dry off a little bit. So if you have found this useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is down in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Until the next one, have a fantastic day.